Welcome back. In the last section, we have discussed about the database connections, how to make, right? In this section, we are going to talk about that. To create any database section, so first we have to open the POM file and we have to add the dependency of that. So I have already added this dependency. So let me clean this. So I have already added this dependency. Once you add this dependency, then you have to go in the application.property file and you have to put some database specific properties, right? These are the database keys and their values. So these are the properties that I have written here and I have given for the MySQL related connections attributes. So this is my database. When I installed it, at that time I have given this username and password. So I have written here, and this is especially useful when you don't want to create the table separately. So what happens, once you create the database with this name and you run the application, so all the tables will be created based on the entity classes. And this is just to for the debug purpose, like what kind of query is getting fired or not printed. Okay, so this is all about the database connections property. Now to install on the machine database, I'll go in the Google Chrome, and here you can download the MySQL workbench and you select your operating system and you can download that. Once you download and install that, then you have to while installation and configuration, it will ask the user ID and password. Just remember that this user ID password, if lost, it's very difficult to recover that. Okay, so keep that in a safer place. In this project, I prefer to use SQL Electron because it's a very lightweight and easy for me. I am very used to this, so I have chosen this. But there is no restriction like you have to use this or this one. I prefer this one, but you might like to use the MySQL workbench. So it's all up to you. You can download or install anything. So to install that SQL Electron, you have to just copy this, paste this URL in the browser, and you will get some archive values over. So based on your operating system, you can select whether Windows, and this is for the MacBook. All right, this is for the all Linux based systems. So hope this will guide you in the do that. So once it is done and installed, so once you open the SQL Electron, so let me close it. So this kind of window will be there. So you have to add the connection. So I have added this. If I edit this, so I will show you what is there. So I have to select the what kind of database engine it is, and then use server names will be localhost because running on the local, and username and password that you have given while installing it. And this is initial database. You can remove this also, this is not an issue, right? Connection is successful. Once it is there, then you can save it. Here I can give user service because I am going to connect with that only. Okay, user service. Let me save this now. Okay, let me make the connection. It's connected. So actually in this table is already created. So let me do one thing. I'll simply drop this, drop these tables. Let me drop the whole database, right? That will be much better to start from that. So I'll sign drop user service. Okay, drop database user service. Let me put that. So if I refresh it, I have to edit this connection. I have to give something employee, something you have to give, right? So once I consider this is saying that employee is not there, so I have to give something, some database which is already there, right? So let me test it because this is a known database. Let me delete that, test it. It is connection successful. Now save it. It's not taking. Okay, so database you can choose some system database you can take. So I have added this MySQL database. It's a initial database. It's a default database which is created when you install the MySQL Workbench or MySQL. So test is connected. It means everything is perfect. Just save it. Now I'll connect it. And what I'll do now, I'm going to create one database. So I'll write here create database user service. Just execute this command. Successful. Just refresh it. We'll see this database now. This one. Now it is selected. Now I'll go in my background. I mean, this is the link. I will share you in the comments also, so you can download it from here. It is available. I mean, you can, if you search on the Google, you will find this. So I will open the Workbench now. I have added my database name. I have added my user ID and passwords, and this will create the database and its table DDL statements. You can see automatically it will be executed based on the annotations that we have used in the entity class in this, right? Okay, so if I go there, so I think everything is perfect now. We can run, and when we run this, we will see the tables here. Right now there is no tables, right? Okay, so let me start now. So debug is started, and look here what it is saying. It is printing what table it is going to create, right? So this is the magic of JPA. This is the power of JPA. And once it is done, then server is started on this. Let me go to the SQL Electron, and if I refresh it, I'll see tables should be created. It's not created. It means something I have to do here. Now it is created. One change I have made, I have just simply removed the drop. So I'm not sure why it was happening. It's normally not happened, so it may be some issues, but it will work. So once you are done that, so now when you rerun, what will happen? Every time it will try to run that. So let me restart this again. Let's see what it is saying. It's showing any error or what? Because these tables are already created. So let's see if it is ignoring or throwing some error. So it's not throwing any error, right? It means that will be, if it exists, it will not do anything. So just let me refresh that. Yeah, and it's working fine. So if I open the table, there is no data. Okay, this sequence is nothing but for the ID purpose. It's kept as an index, so don't worry about that. So now when I will register the user, that username and password will be inside this table. Okay, so what will I do now? Now I will hit my register API and create some users. So let me go in the browser. I'll close this now, and I'll simply use local host /8082/health. Let's see if it is running. Yeah, it's not running because it is asking the username and password. Why it is asking? I think I have given the incorrect path. Let me open the demo controller. What is the path? Demo/health, right? So that's why. I will simply remove this demo/health. It's up and running. Okay, so to hit the API, since we are passing the form, right, in the request, if you see in the controller, we are passing the request body. Let me close this now and open the actual one. So here I'm passing one request object in the body, that is form. So to test the API or use the API, we are going to use the Postman. Okay, let me open the Postman you can install, and it is available on the browser also. So what I'm going to do, I'll just remove this. This is the older one. I don't require that. I'll simply create one new HTTP request, and it will be a post. I simply write local host 8082 slash, I'll see what is the controller annotation, this one. I'll copy this, I'll put over there, slash register, right? And the body I'm going to pass one form. So what I'll do now, I'll simply write here raw data and in the JSON format, right? So how to give the data in the JSON format? Let's see. So this is my required registered class. It is having first name, last name, email and password. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll simply create one JSON object and simply put the keys. Let me do that. So this is the body that I have created in the body part. So I select the raw and select the type JSON. If you beautify this, it will be in some formatted way. So I have put my first name as a Ravi, last name value, then email, then password. So this is what required. If you see in the class, I'm having one more field that is not in the request but in the entity class. So I'm having this extra field, so this is auto generated. So this will be automatically DB will be created. DB will be going to add this value. Okay, if required we'll give, there are many annotation. If it is not working, then we'll add some generated value strategy also, so don't worry about that. Okay, so let me go to the Postman now. Here I have given this, let me hit this. Wow, I'm getting 401 unauthorized access, because since Spring Security has been added, so it is looking for a user ID and password for this. So what I'll do now, I'll simply copy this path and go in my config class where I have configured the Spring Security. I will just bypass my endpoint, right? So how to bypass? Multiple bypass. So you can write here comma and this, and you can pass. Okay, so now it should be allowed. Let me rerun this now. So I'm just doing what? Now these two APIs should be allowed because it's a registered API, so it's open to all. It's not required any kind of username or password. Is not authenticated. So I'll go in the Postman now. Let me hit now. Still it is coming. It means something is not matching, I think. Let me see closely. So even we have added in the Spring Security configuration. So now I am giving you one challenge to see. We know the concept. Why this is still asking the user ID and password or 401. So I'm just take it as a challenge and do it. Let me know in your question and answer section. I will explain in the next video to this. So don't worry. Happy learning. Okay, let's see you in the next session. Bye.